I hope that Jude Bellingham will stay at Borussia Dortmund beyond 2023. I can see he feels super comfortable with us, said the club director Kell after Dortmund rejected multiple approaches for the player during the summer. Borussia Dortmund are wanting £130 million for the midfielder, which would make him the most expensive English player of all time. £130 million for Jude Bellingham sounds like a lot of money, so we dug in to see what his actual value might be. As we all know, what a player is worth is whatever another club is willing to pay. If Jude Bellingham was to leave Bundesliga side Dortmund, he would have a different value depending on which team was interested in signing him, determined by an aggregate of their relative positional needs and their resources. When he departs is also important. As of 2022, Bellingham has 3 years remaining on his contract, which is due to run until June 2025. At the moment, contract length isn't a factor, and yet it could become so if Dortmund held the player for too long. Additionally, the Dortmund asking price for £130 million is to receive the most money possible from interested parties. So, what is his market value as an estimate? First of all, for context, if a club was willing to pay £130 million for Jude Bellingham, it would make him the third most expensive player of all time. It would still be some way short of the £199 million that PSG paid to activate Neymar's Barcelona release clause, but it would be a bigger fee than Dembélé, Coutinho, João Felix or Griezmann. Some of the players on the list were considered wonder kids, hence why clubs paid a lot of money. So yes, there are clubs that are willing to spend £130 million for a player like Bellingham, who's considered to be one of football's future talents. In addition to which, the current list of the most expensive transfers completed is predominantly around attacking players, most often goal scorers. Among the top 25, for instance, only 2 players, Paul Pogba and Frenkie de Jong, are central midfielders. Pogba scored 8 goals and 10 assists in 35 league games for Juventus before being bought by Manchester United during the 2016-17 season. Frenkie de Jong played 31 league games for Ajax, scoring 3 and assisting 4 times before his move to Spanish side Barcelona. Approaching halfway through the season, Jude Bellingham has scored 3 goals and 2 assists in 15 games, which means if the English midfielder keeps producing at his current rate, would beat Frenkie de Jong's performance. Nevertheless, this provides a rough range of value. Manchester United paid £94.5 million for Paul Pogba in 2016, while Frenkie de Jong left Ajax for Barcelona for £77.4 million in the summer of 2019. And there are some other factors to consider. While that Pogba valuation is now 6 years old, it was inflated by the player's commercial worth and by Manchester United's intention to use him at the forefront of their marketing activity. Jude Bellingham would not be an equivalent asset. Frenkie de Jong was not a commercial asset either, but he was very young when he moved, just 22. And had enjoyed a highly successful season in the Champions League, reaching the semi-finals with Ajax. The fee Barcelona paid was a recognition of both the player he was and the one he was likely to develop into. Jude Bellingham's value isn't as abstract. He is only 19 years old though, and like de Jong, the theory of what he might become helps inflate his value. He has the ability to commit opponents to a challenge before swiftly flicking a pass to a teammate. At Dortmund, Bellingham plays a mature screening role in front of Dortmund's defense, breaking up play with tackles and interceptions, but impressing most with his intelligence and positioning. He moves the ball around quickly and efficiently, helping his team shift the opposition around in an attempt to create gaps in their shape. From the perspective of influence and range of abilities, if not personality and profile, it's not unreasonable to value Jude Bellingham close to that de Jong-Pogba range. The transfer market estimates his market value to be at £100 million. Other factors that need considering are which club wants to sign him, with the expectation that an English club would pay a British player premium. How many clubs want to sign him would also be important. An understated influence might also be Dortmund's ability to negotiate a large transfer. The German side recorded a sale of £130 million that took Dembélé to Barcelona, while the club also has a reputation to develop and produce young talents and sell them on for higher fees. Naturally, Dortmund's own negotiating position will also be a determining factor. The season could yet finish with the club missing out on a European spot for next year, which can result in revenue drops determining the asking price and even attempting to hold the player for longer. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel.